in the right frame of mind. And that's true for even the most critically important of jobs, like physicians.
The state of a physician's mental health has a big impact on the quality of care we receive. But a new study from JAMA Network Open says most physicians struggling with their mental health don't seek help. Women physicians have a significantly higher suicide rate compared to women in the general population. A third of physicians struggle with depression. About a fourth have anxiety, and 1 in 10 live with PTSD.
Those statistics are pretty sobering, and while the numbers are startling, the Journal of the American Medical Association's report says there are ways to eliminate barriers to care and ultimately reduce rates of untreated conditions and physician suicide.
Joining us now to talk about some of those solutions, UW Health's Chief Quality Officer, Dr. Jeff Pothoff. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Dr. Pothoff.
Yeah, good to be here.
Why are these rates so high for physicians?
I think it's just kind of like the perfect set of circumstances. So, medicine kind of selects certain individuals, very like type A, like go-getters, want to be absolutely perfect. They spend all this time learning how to become a physician, and they want to get it right. They want to get it right every single time. And sometimes things don't go right, or, they're so committed to work that things start to slip in other areas of life. And it can just be hard sometimes to take the time to take care of yourself, to be like, I need to take a break, or I need to talk to someone about this, or, I got to reach out and get a little bit of help. It can be challenging.
I cannot imagine a more stressful job, and it's sort of an occupational hazard that you're dealing with this kind of stress and pressure. Is it talked about in medical school? Like throughout your career, is it something that you and your fellow physicians discuss a lot?
I think it's certainly something that's talked about. It's something we discuss a lot, but I think you even have to take it a step further. So we have programs at UW Health, most hospitals will have this, which are peer support programs. So if we know, say for my specialty, emergency medicine, one of our docs goes through like a really tough case, we don't wait for that person to reach out and say, hey, I need some help. We actually check in and we say, hey, this is really hard. Like, are you doing okay? Do we need to talk? We do that for providers. We do it for nursing staff and stuff too, just to make sure that, like, as a team, we're taking care of each other.
Yeah. And I hope you don't mind me asking, but how do you balance out everything that you do, and what would your advice be to younger generations?
Yeah, I think, one thing that I learned kind of coming through medicine is that if you wait for the rest of life to fit into the cracks around work, it doesn't happen. So you have to be intentional and say, you know what, I work with a group of people, there's someone else who can do this job when I'm not here. And as important as it is for me to feel like I'm making a difference taking care of patients and their families, it's really important to make sure I'm making time for my wife and my kids and those other things that I find joy in. If you don't have that balance, sooner or later you burn out and then you're not helping anybody. So you just have to be really intentional about it. It can't happen by accident.
I know you're on the forefront of training the next generation of physicians, and there's new technologies and AI and everything else coming up in medicine. What are some of the solutions? Do you see a solution on the horizon to turn this trend around?
I think there'll need to be a lot of them, but one of them that is really encouraging is there's new technology that basically listens to the conversation that you're having with the patient and everything that you're doing, and then kind of writes a draft note for you. And that may seem like a small thing, but when we look at physicians, they really want to dedicate that time to taking care of patients. None of us went to medical school to be really good at writing notes, and the note taking care of itself saves us a lot of time, particularly after dinner. When we look at when our docs are actually most in the computer, it's usually like 7 to 9 o'clock. So they're having dinners with their family, and then they're going back to work. And every once in a while you can do that, but if you do that every day, the job's just not as much fun.
And you touched on this. One last question. When you are, in a high-pressure job and you have to be as perfect as you can be, it may not feel like asking for help is possible. Is that something that you want to remind people you can ask for help?
Absolutely. And I think we all know this, but we have to make it easy. Like, we all feel like we have to be like the hero. Sometimes medicine's a team sport and it's not all on you, and you can call the consult or call for reinforcements and get that help. So I think that's an important message to medical professionals too.
Thank you for sharing this conversation.
You bet.
Sorry, I swallowed my mint.
Oh no.
I might have a medical emergency here in the middle of this interview.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Sorry about that. Thanks, Dr. Pothoff. Great to see you.
Before we head to break, we are taking a moment to share the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call 988 at any hour of the day, every day of the week, if you or someone you know is thinking about suicide. And you can also text that number for help or go to 988lifeline.org.